This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, freaks? How's it going, everybody? Yeah. I got in trouble tonight because I went over to another channel, and I said, hey, come on! Yeah. She's talking about Stephanie Harlow. We were talking about her today. That's her just favorite person of all time. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm just kidding. But, hey, thank you. Yeah, there it is.
Love ya. Bye. Steph is still my favorite.
Yeah, put out some positive vibes for Stephanie Harlow, by the way, because she was like dirt bike riding or something and tried one of her old tricks, I guess, and crashed and hurt her ribs, broke one of her ribs, so she's in a lot of pain. So, you know, put out some positive vibes there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you know, well, I was just going to say there was this press conference today in the Gabby Petito case regarding the autopsy, and the press conference literally should have only lasted maybe, Chloe, Blue, should have lasted maybe 30 seconds. That's it. I guess what we found out today was that it was verified that she was on top of the ground, because he referred to how the elements and everything like that. And we already knew that. She wasn't pregnant, and that she died. There was homicide via strangulation. All right? And what's weird is there's actually videos out there with people bringing on experts to explain to you what the findings were that doctor, the medical examiner, said. Don't you find that a little bit condescending? Put your hand up in the air if you do not know what that homicide is. What, you know, it was homicide with strangulation. Is anybody confused what that means? Is there anybody? I mean, it means that somebody else killed Gabby, and that it was strangulation. It's not like you need an expert to come in. Well, let me explain it to you. Now, I had it said, you know, it's a little weird, right? So what it shows you is that people will come up with anything to create content. I would be like, if I did a video like that to you guys, I would hope you would admonish me and tell me how condescending I was on something like that. You know, like, wow. It's unreal. It's just really obvious stuff. And she was not pregnant. She was on top of the ground. She was murdered, basically. I mean, that's what it is. Homicide, and she died of strangulation. So that means somebody else caused her death, and she was strangled. So that means it's murder. And because there's really no, well, I guess you could say, well, no, it was a game we were playing. We were playing a game where we would just like to choke each other really hard, and this time it got a little too crazy. Yeah, so it was homicide. I mean, I could play the press conference for you, but you can also go over to So Mean Allegedly, the channel that Chasing and I do together, and watch that. And you'll see the whole press conference and thoughts on it and everything. And that's all you need to do, but I don't want to waste time and go back over that again. Yeah, well, the throttling means strangulation, to be strangled. It's just sort of like, when I thought throttling meant like, oh, you punch somebody, right? But it doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't make it, maybe people were confused at that one phrase that was on there. But here's the, hold on. Right here it says, in the matter of the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, down here it says, cause death by manual strangulation throttling. Okay? Then you look up, I was like, well, throttling, isn't that when you beat somebody? Or, because that's what I've always thought it was. But when you look up throttling, right here, throttling means attack or kill by choking or strangling them. Didn't know that. Hey, all right. I guess I have to become a member of yours, too. I didn't even realize. We'll start that one soon. Allegedly. Yeah. So there you go. That is the explanation there, meaning they were just sort of like, well, it's either strangulation or, or throttling. We call it that, too. I don't think it implies anything. It just means strangulation. It just means strangulation. Hello, Michelle. Hello to all the moderators out there. If I don't say it enough, I really do appreciate what all of you guys do all the time. Okay. What I would like is to have all the moderators get along like some big happy family. Since we're all on the same team trying to get shit done, right? That'd be awesome. All right. Let's see. This was a really crazy story that Ada and Truth Sleuth were looking at on Facebook here. Look at this weird one. Married marketing executive 38 secretly filmed his live-in assistant, like an au pair or somebody, I don't know, in the bathroom and bedroom, then blamed his 10-year-old son when he got caught. Ah, jeez. A married marketing executive has been accused of secretly videotaping his young live-in assistant at his family's Manhattan apartment, and then attempting to blame it on his 10-year-old son for installing the recording device and the spy app on the father's cell phone. Arthur Fraden, 38, his wife Sarah McLaughlin, 34, and the man's Manhattan-based company, Tandem Marketing, were all named as defendants in a federal lawsuit filed Monday in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, alleging violations of New York human rights and labor law. According to the 24-page lawsuit, the plaintiff... Jesus. You did it to me. You did it to me. I didn't even see it. You guys should have said something. Where did that come from? I don't even see it in there. Was that a... Was that through Streamlabs or something? That freaked me out, man. Normally I get a little glimpse of something on the screen, but that was just out of nowhere. Yeah, that must have been through Streamlabs. Thank you. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I went, ah! I got another meme. Another animation to put out now, because I reacted to that one too. Oh yeah? Your cat jumped. Alright, court documents obtained by Daily Mail allege that McLaughlin, who worked with Fraden, initially hired Doe, they're just naming her Doe, a recent college graduate, as a babysitter, so like a nanny, au pair, to her 2 children in February 2021, but later expanded the scope of her employment to include working as an assistant to her husband at his marketing agency. As part of her duties, Doe was required to live at the couple's apartment on East 56th Street in Midtown Manhattan 4 to 5 days a week, where the atmosphere was described as being controlling and sexually charged. The plaintiff attorney, Don Perrone, claimed in the filing that in August, Fraden forced his assistant to strip down to her bra, ostensibly so he could photograph and videotape himself applying kinesiology tape to her neck and back as part of a marketing demonstration. Oh boy. Yeah. So anyway, let's just get down to this part here. This is the crazy, the excuse making part, my dog ate the homework stuff. Can I use your cell phone to call Verizon? LOL. I don't know why my phone is not connecting. And then I think that must be Doe. Yes, if you also bring me a spoon. And then she says, fine. And then I think this is like later on when something is being like, he's gotten in trouble already because he says, not sure if you're getting messages on your phone. I am mortified. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. I've already sorted things out with my son, as has Lisa, his wife, I guess. He, of course, has no idea what he was doing, and this is a serious lesson for him. But I want to make sure you're okay. And then he tries to be like, wow, you know what? I noticed an app this morning that I don't recognize. I download tons of apps and never opened most of them, and didn't think anything of it. Then I tapped it later and was immediately sidetracked because the call I was on needed my attention and never went back to it. If I had paid attention and waited for it to open, I would have seen it before you. I can only imagine what you went through. I deleted the app right away after Sarah called out of panic that it's still recording, and fortunately do not know if it was still active or anything. What a jerk, Complete bullshit. During the 4 to 5 weeks the plaintiff stayed in the apartment, she used the bathroom in which the spy camera was hidden daily to urinate, defecate, dress, undress, and shower, among other things, and thus had been nude therein on multiple occasions. McLaughlin then contacted her husband to tell him that his assistant had found the spy camera, and Fraden later that night texted Doe admitting the device had been recording in the bathroom, but claimed that the culprit was his 10-year-old son from a previous marriage. Come on. Yeah, I hate crap like that. What's this one do?
It's here! Our new sofa is here! I'm so excited!
Well, that's not the video, but let's see if there's something that comes in after this. It's a long ad. Or is that what they want us to watch? I don't think so. Well, maybe. Nah. I don't know if that's just an ad, but right here it says executive accused of filming, assistant appears in... Oh, that is the marketing video. Right? So that's her right there, I guess.
Okay, so we gotta do the blue beam.
So that's the guy, and that's the assistant right there.
Okay, so we gotta do the blue beams, and then another blue beam on the top.
I mean, come on, you guys. He seems like a nice guy, doesn't he? I mean... Oh, anyways. Some sick people out there. That's for damn sure. Also in the Maya Marcano case, I don't know if we want to...
Good evening. The video released by the lawyer for the Mia Marcano...
Yes, it's pretty weird because in...
The Orange County Sheriff's Office is
this.
defending its investigation into the disappearance and death of 19-year-old Mia Marcano. Its defense comes after video surfaced showing the suspect in her death at her apartment complex the night she was reported missing. As West 2's Paul Rivera reports, Marcano's family's attorney is calling this video inexcusable.
Mia, I guess they call her.
When you see that video...
Marcano family attorney Daryl Washington says both Arden Villas and the Orange County Sheriff's Office dropped the ball from the moment Mia Marcano was reported missing. All of this being said as the family released this video taken when Mia went missing, showing deputies and the family of Marcano questioning the man now known to be the suspect in this case, Armando Caballero.
But until we figure out what's going on, just don't beat me up.
Nobody ain't beating you up.
If I'm guilty,
well, you put yourself in the middle right here. You brought yourself over here.
Orange County Sheriff John Mina spoke about the video and what happened, adding that even if they had arrested Caballero, then Mia was already dead.
Sadly, detaining Caballero at 4:30 a.m. would not have changed the fact that Caballero left her body at the Timberscan Apartments between 8 and 9 p.m. The night before. However, at the time the video was taken, there was no basis for our deputies to detain or arrest Armando Caballero.
The family's attorney refuted the sheriff's statement. When deputies did arrive, Washington also adds they didn't follow basic protocols, like taking fingerprints.
Yeah, well, the thing is, all these people complaining and complaining and complaining. It didn't make any difference. He had already killed her the night before at between 8 and 9, and then when he showed up over here, it was 4:30 the next morning. So, I mean, there's no suit or anything here. Okay, maybe they could have done things better and arrested him at the time. I guess that would have been, I think what they're angry about is they weren't able to exact justice on him. He got to take himself out in his own way, and I guess they feel like the police, if they were a little bit quicker and sharper, would have had an arrest right away that night. But there was really nothing at this moment that this guy's doing that would make him be a suspect and be arrested. But I think the family's frustrated that they didn't arrest him before he killed himself so that they could see justice for their daughter, when in reality there isn't going to be really any. He killed himself, so that let him take himself out on his own terms. Hey, look at Spunky Steph, 17 months. All right. And that's M-U-N-T-S. Okay, M-U-N-T-S. Yeah. All right. You have to, right, there was nothing going on in this when he was there that first time. Had they had the information about the cards being used to get into the apartments prior to this, then I would be pretty frustrated that they didn't at least really severely interrogate this guy. What's going on, Blue? Oh boy, they're doing a little wrestling. They're gonna be loud tonight. I'm gonna have to put Blue in jail at one point. Oh, that's the other camera. Hold on. Yeah, his name will always be soiled. That's the good part. I mean, that's the same thing. It's like similar to, in the genetic genealogy age where they do genetic genealogy and then they go back and find a killer, and then it turns out the killer died in 2007 or something. Well, it's still great that now their name forever will be associated with a murderer, because that's what they are, right? They don't get to have their name just disappear and, you know, everything's fine and dandy for them. Trying to read something over here. No, it's a different Maya Gray Wolf. Hey, Gray Wolf. I covered the Maya Malete case way before that other channel does regularly. Okay, way before that, like months and months and months before. Okay, this is a different one though. This is Mia Marcano. Has nothing to do with that. You know, if you just pay attention for 3 minutes, you would have heard that. But unfortunately, you didn't do it. Oh well. Okay, well, right now I'm going to switch over to one of these cold cases. Let me see which one I want to do first. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Linda Gibson and Cody Garrett. All right, here we go. This one's pretty brutal. So I'm just going through the newspapers like we do. Police say slangs in Pulaski were not random. So let me make sure I'm in the right place here. I don't have anything marked down yet. So we'll work through it. Yeah, so it's in Kentucky. Somerset, it looks like. We'll just go right there. Yes, we have, Helen. Like 40,000. We've covered that many times. There's nothing new on it. But I just want to go over this case now, if that's okay, though. She walked to the corner store on Sunday afternoon with her half-brother, Cody Garrett, 4. She cashed a winning $1 lottery ticket and bought a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi and some candy for Cody. The last time neighbors saw the two alive, they were sitting on the steps of a neighborhood church late Sunday. Sometime later, Gibson, 21, and Cody were beaten to death. A crime police said was not random. And they were dumped in a field on the outskirts of Somerset. Their decomposed bodies were found Thursday. In those 3 days, their mother, Debbie Calhoun, had reported to police they were missing and had enlisted friends and family in a search for the two. Let me see what this says up here. Half-brother Cody Garrett, she cashed a winning line the last time Saturday. Most of Linda Gibson were sitting on the steps of a neighborhood church late Sunday. Let me try to look this one up. Alright, so her name is Linda Gibson. So she'd be, how old would she be at this point? So she was 21, so that would have been 1995 so she'd be about 48 or something. Welcome, Moody Morgan. Okay, yes, she died. This is her because it says she died in July 1994, and is that what this is? Yeah, July 7th. And I don't think they have the right address for her in here, unfortunately. Let me try this one. No. Wait, did they say Ferguson? Let's see. Just close. Oh, that's really close to here. So I think this might be the one. The house that they lived at. If not, there's another person with the exact same name. It's kind of a small town to have two people with the same name there. Same middle initial and everything. Okay. I feel like I got an allergy or something. Yeah, it's hard to know duck and felonies because I haven't gone through enough stuff to even talk about that. So don't go look it up outside and come back in, all right? Yeah. Let's see. Calhoun 38 was admitted to, in those 3 days, their mother, Debbie Calhoun, had reported to police that they were missing and had enlisted friends and family in a search for the two. But the night before the bodies were found, as she held Cody's small shoes, she told a neighbor she feared the worst. She said, "If they do come back, I'll kill myself." Well, who's saying this? Okay, sometime later, Gibson 21 and Cody were beaten to death. A crime police said was not random and dumped in a field on the outskirts of Somerset. Their decomposed bodies were found Thursday. In those 3 days, their mother, Debbie Calhoun, had reported to police they were missing and had listed friends and family in a search for the two. But the night before the bodies were found, as she held Cody's small shoes, she told a neighbor she feared the worst. Okay, so the night before, she said if they do not come back dead, if they not come back dead, oh, if they do come back, excuse me. I was like, what am I reading? It's so backwards. "If they do come back dead, I'll kill myself," said Margaret R. I said, "Don't talk like that." Calhoun 38 was admitted to the hospital in Somerset after her children were found dead, neighbors said yesterday. Police continued interviewing people yesterday and searching for clues in the deaths of Gibson and Cody, the first double murder in Pulaski County in memory. Police gave at least one man, Calhoun's fiancé, a lie detector test. Robert L. Bobby Bray, 32, of Somerset, said he passed 2 tests. "I did take a polygraph test and they released me and there was no charges held against me," Bray said. Police might have interviewed Bray because of a trespassing charge Gibson filed against him May 22nd. Gibson said Bray had come to her apartment. She lived next door to her mother in the... So let's see if we've got a... I think this is about to come up with some sort of an address here. I think it's somebody they knew. Let's see. Pulaski County Sheriff Catrone, who was coordinating the investigation, said police questioned half a dozen people yesterday and have identified some aspects. I don't know why it switched over to that. It doesn't seem like that jumped right over to the next sentence. But authorities remain tight-lipped about the crime, saying they are trying to protect the investigation. Unanswered questions include the cause of death, the type of weapon used, and the motive. Let's see. Catrone said police think the two were not killed at Gibson's apartment. So, okay. Well, who's Gibson? And that's looks like the father. So this guy's the father of the brother of Linda. So it's a half brother. Let's see. Carmichael said he did not expect an arrest for at least several days. The case qualifies for the death penalty because 2 people were killed. Gibson and Cody were last seen Sunday evening. Neighbors said the 2 left their apartment on High Street. That's probably not what that is. High Street. Okay, there's a... Which one is it? Is this High Street right there? High Street Baptist Church. I wonder if that's the church they were hanging out at. And maybe High Street's not even there anymore. Maybe it's called something else. That's Bourne Avenue. I don't know. Can't tell. Let's see. They were taken Sunday evening. Gibson and Cody were last seen Sunday evening. Neighbors said the 2 left their apartment on High Street that afternoon to walk to a convenience store on Bourne Avenue. Okay, so now that is where Bourne Avenue is. Yeah, I just saw that right here. So I bet that's the church right there that they were at. I mean, this is only 27 years ago or so. Yeah, those look like the stairs that they may have been sitting on. And this is Bourne Street. So let's type in convenience store on Bourne Street. And there's one right at the corner there. Now I guess it could have been anywhere along here. Let's see what it looks like right here. Yeah, those look like those have probably been there. This is from 2008, so not too long ago. I mean, not too long after, comparatively. So maybe they just went right here. Let's see. Convenience store. Thanks, Kit Kat. Must be tax season or something. Yeah, so there's the boom, 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 boom.
$2 Taco Tuesdays at Gray's. Taco.
Bourne Avenue. Yeah, I don't think there's another convenience store on here. Nothing else looks like one. So maybe that's where it was. And then let me type in apartment. Let's see, what street was their apartment on? The last seen Sunday evening neighborhood. The 2 left their apartment on High Street that afternoon to walk to a convenience store on Bourne Avenue about a mile away. And this is the town of Somerset, so let's see. High Street, Somerset. Okay, that's High Street right there.
Taco.
And is there an apartment complex there? So that's just High Street right here, that really short. Let me look at an older, we can probably go back to almost the time, 1997. Oh yeah, it's totally way different. Look at that. Well, I don't know when I say way, it just looks like there's been a lot of construction. Like right there, that's a parking lot. And maybe that's an apartment right there. I don't know. Let me type in apartment on High Street. Yeah, no, there's a couple over here, but that's not High Street. And then that store, I wonder if that's the one that's a mile away. Let me see if that's even close. And it's 0.6, but walking might be close to a mile because you have to go like this. It's not straight. Yeah, so I'll just put High Street here. Lived on High Street. Let's take a look at it. Oh, maybe that's an apartment. What are these called? That looks like a pretty good chance right there, right? I mean, are those just homes? Man, those are huge. And thanks, Emily Flotilla. And that's been, looks like, destroyed since then. See, there was 2 buildings there. And it looks like that one that looked like an apartment building was one that was removed. So that's 1997, and then right here, you go down and right there, this building looks like it was already kind of breaking apart in 2008. And then if you go up in the air here, and then you move it forward, so it's right there. And then look, it's completely been torn down, so I bet you that's where that apartment was. Because it's not there anymore. That's why it doesn't list one. That's a building that was removed, and all the other buildings look like they're still there. So, doesn't that seem pretty reasonable? That was where that apartment was, on High Street. These are all homes that look like they've probably been there a while. And that looks like that was probably an apartment complex. Huh? Let's see. That's not an apartment, that's a house. I'm not sure where you got that from, but anyways, I'm gonna keep going here. Neighbors and acquaintances described Gibson, who was not married, as a very quiet woman. She was unemployed, did not have a car, and was often seen walking in town. She wouldn't talk to you until you got to know you. Then she wouldn't talk very much, said Janice Trimble, who helps oversee the apartment building where Gibson lived, an old house divided into 8 units. Gibson paid her rent on time, was generous with neighbors, and watched over her daughter and Cody's neighbor said. I can say she did take care of them kids. They've got food over there in that house right now. Cody was a well-behaved, gregarious boy who had just finished a Head Start type program last school year. They wasn't a stranger to that kid, but Gibson and Cody were not strangers to problems. Their mother had married several times, most recently to Dwayne John Wayne Calhoun, 34, who has a history of arrests for drinking and fighting. Debbie Calhoun said in a domestic violence petition in 1993 that she was afraid of Dwayne Calhoun. So Debbie Calhoun is, yeah, that's the mother of Linda. Because she was afraid of this newer husband that she's got. He is threatening to kill me, she wrote. Debbie Calhoun did not pursue the case. The two divorced this spring. And so, whose baby is that? So that's a different father, though. Garrett. Wait, Cody. So it's Cody Garrett, and the father is Grant. Well, how weird is that? That guy. Look at that guy's name right there. Grant Garrett. Why would that be weird to me? Anybody know? Just curious. That's right. Both of them. One brother's name is Grant. The other brother that passed away in 1986 is Garrett. And I'm Gray. We were the 3 Gs. Okay. Pretty weird, huh? Cody was a well-behaved... Okay, we already got that part. So let's see. The mother's troubles were not lost on the daughter. In a 1992 case that was later dismissed, landlord Portia Pennington charged that Gibson moved into an apartment on Lincoln Street illegally. She will not answer the door and keeps the storm door locked and leaves dirty notes for Pennington, the warrant said. Who's Pennington? Oh, a landlord. Okay. Cody's father, Grant Garrett, 38, said Gibson dated many men. He speculated one of them killed and perhaps killed Cody because he saw what happened. Garrett, who was married to Calhoun for 5 years, said he told Calhoun she would warn Gibson about seeing so many men. She'd just get in the car with anybody, walk up and down the streets at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That's bad news, Garrett said. That's going to come to no good. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Two bodies found in Quiet Town. This is another article from the next day, so it's a pretty recent one, but let's see if it says anything different. When Linda Gibson and her 4-year-old half-brother left so the way it is Linda Gibson is white, and the child, Cody Garrett, is half white and half black, with the guy named Grant Garrett. Gibson left behind her food stamps, and Cody Garrett was not wearing a shirt, neighbors said, but they never returned. So what it says up here is they walked to a nearby convenience store. They apparently didn't plan on be gone very long. Okay. So Gibson left behind her food stamps, and Cody Garrett was not wearing a shirt, neighbors said. I'm not sure why they brought up the food stamps part. Were you just trying to sort of discuss the station in life of them? I mean, who cares about that? But they never returned, a neighbor said. The two were beaten to death and their bodies dumped in a field on the outskirts of Somerset, the first double slaying in Pulaski County in memory. Their decomposed bodies were found Thursday. I wonder if, so what day is this one? Is this Sunday? So Thursday? Here, I'm going to go look for something really quick. And that'll be in the... So this is in... I go to 1994... July... This is 10th, 9th, on the 8th. And Kentucky, and bodies found. And this might be the first. Okay. There it is. So that's the first reference here. A 21-year-old woman and her 4-year-old half-brother were found dead in a field 4 days after they were last seen. Yeah. So Commonwealth Attorney Ray Carmichael said the two were murdered. It was the first double slaying within memory. Let me see if I can find one that I want one that, because a lot of times they'll tell you where they were found on the. So missing siblings found slain in Pulaski. Police yesterday found the bodies of a young woman and her 4-year-old half-brother in a field behind a subdivision of tidy new homes. The woman, 21, the child, were reported missing by their mother, Debbie Calhoun, about noon Monday in the Somerset City. About noon Monday to the Somerset City Police. They had been missing since Sunday when they were last seen together in Somerset. Although police withheld many details about the case last night, including the victims' names and the cause of death, Commonwealth Attorney Ray Carmichael said the two were murdered. The crime is being investigated as a capital murder case because more than one person was killed, meaning Carmichael could seek the death penalty. Yeah, so I wanted to get more of the location with that one, but it doesn't seem like it's in there. So we'll go back to this. Pulaski County Sheriff Sam Catrone, who is coordinating the investigation, said the deaths were not random killings. I don't think we have a stalker in the community, Commonwealth Attorney Ray Carmichael said. Police aren't saying how, where, or exactly when the 21-year-old Gibson Cody were killed, but they think the murderer knew the victims, and Catrone said officials were close to arresting a suspect. The last time neighbors saw the two alive, they were sitting on the steps of a neighborhood church late Sunday. So I wonder if that is the church. When Gibson and Cody left for the convenience store about a mile away, and by the way, that church is right next to, they lived right around in this area. Somebody said it was this house here, but it looks like a house, not an apartment. And there's a church right there. And there's steps right in front, so that would kind of make sense. Yeah, it could have been racially motivated. Who knows? When Gibson and Cody left for the convenience store about a mile away, Gibson left her daughter, Stephanie, 4, with her mother. Wow, so you have a 4-year-old. Oh, wait, she has her own daughter that's the same age as her mother's youngest son and half-brother. I think that's what they're saying, right? Yeah, when Gibson and Cody left for the convenience store about a mile away, Gibson, so that's Linda Gibson, left her daughter, Stephanie, 4-year-old, with her mother, but went with her half-brother to the convenience store. Most times she took both of them. Thank God she didn't this time. The Department for Social Services arranged for Stephanie to be cared for after her mother died. Another neighbor, Margaret Ard, saw Gibson and Cody as they were leaving Sunday. Ard patted Cody on the head and asked him where he was going. He said, "I'm going to get me a pop." Gibson gave Ard a cigarette. So who's Ard again? Hold on. Margaret Ard, that's just a neighbor. So Gibson, Linda Gibson, gave Ard a cigarette and offered to bring her something from the store. She said, "I'll be back in a minute," and she never did come back, Ard said. Earl Owens said the apartment building where Gibson and Cody lived with Stephanie and Gibson's mother is the roughest place in Pulaski County. to tell you how rough it is, they've called it Dodge City for 20 years. Owens, who lives on the same street as the apartment building, said police often were called to the apartment building to investigate shootings, stabbings, alleged drug use. Gibson never was charged in any incident. Neighbors and acquaintances described Gibson as a quiet woman. She was unemployed, did not have a car, and was often seen walking in town. Gibson, who dropped out of Pulaski County High School several years ago, recently was working towards her GED development certificate. Yeah. FBI hopes its profile snares Slayer in Pulaski. So let's see what this says. The FBI will analyze a double murder in Pulaski County to draw up a profile that could help catch a killer. Linda Gibson, 21, and her half-brother Garrett, 4, were killed sometime after they left home Sunday afternoon to walk to a neighborhood convenience store. Their bodies, dumped in an overgrown field behind a subdivision on the eastern outskirts of Somerset, were found Thursday afternoon. Using facts police have gathered about the murders, the FBI this week will work on a profile that will give police an idea of the killer's age, sex, and race, and other facts, such as how well the killer knew the victims, said Pulaski County Sheriff Sam Catrone. The profile could provide clues on the type of person to look for and narrow the field of potential suspects. We're using every means available to us, Catrone said. This is a top priority. The killing is not thought to have been random. The killer apparently was an acquaintance of Gibson, Catrone said. Investigators have withheld most details about the killings, including the cause of death, the type of weapon, and the suspected motive. Police continued their investigation yesterday, canvassing Somerset neighborhoods for witnesses and searching again for clues in the area where the bodies were dumped. Volunteers helped in the... Get this out. Search, which did not turn up any new evidence. Police have given at least one person a lie detector test, and more were scheduled. Alright, so we're just kind of moving through the... wasn't a ton of articles, but... And on July 12th, slaying victim badly beaten. So now they're giving some details here. A Somerset woman and her 4-year-old half-brother were killed by repeated blows to the head that left them so battered that it would have been difficult to recognize them, a coroner said. Linda Gibson, 21, and Cody Garrett were identified in part by their clothing and by dental records. The two were killed sometime after they left a neighborhood convenience store the afternoon of July 3rd. Their partly decomposed bodies were discovered Thursday in an overgrown field on the eastern outskirts of Somerset. So somewhere over here, probably. The preliminary autopsy report did not tell when Gibson and Cody were killed or how long they might have been lying in the field. Much of the autopsy work was completed Friday in Lexington, but the examination will not be finished until later this week. Normally an autopsy is completed in one day, but due to the magnitude of this case, they want to make sure everything is covered. The bodies are evidence, and sometimes they can tell us a lot. The autopsy report did not state whether there were any wounds to the body beyond the head injuries. Okay, and then we've got the 13th, the next day. Coroner says woman, half-brother beaten almost beyond recognition. A Somerset woman and her 4-year-old half-brother were killed by repeated blows, kind of similar to the last one, that left them so battered that it would have been difficult to recognize them. I think that's pretty much the same one, just different headline. Didn't know that at the time. And then, then there was almost nothing. And then 7 years later, an article. A 7-year-old unsolved double murder was the subject of a coroner's inquest that some say was politically motivated. But the jury reached no conclusion Thursday, and Pulaski County Coroner Alan R. Stringer said he was not motivated by politics. Stringer said he had heard concerns about the ability of Pulaski County Sheriff Sam Catrone's office to solve the July 1994 murders of Linda Gibson, 21, and Cody Garrett, her 4-year-old half-brother. Stringer's brother, Kay Stringer, ran against Catrone in the 1998 Republican primary. The race ended in a tie vote after 3 counts, which led to a coin toss in Catrone's favor, a lawsuit by Stringer that voided the election because of irregularities, and finally a decision by GOP election officials to nominate Catrone. Supporters of Catrone, who has been sheriff 15 years, says the inquest was described to was designed to make the sheriffs look bad and help the coroner's brother. Yeah, sounds kind of stupid. All right, so then we got to go to 2014. All right. The brothers of 2 people killed 20 years ago are hoping the public can help find who is responsible for killing their sister and her brother. This is 2014. Brother of 2 people killed years ago. So there was another brother, I guess. Clayton and Jamie Gibson say they've lived in fear for the last 2 decades since 21-year-old Linda Gibson and 4-year-old Cody Garrett were found dead in a field near Somerset. It's been hell on earth, her brother Clayton Gibson said. I mean, nobody. You won't never know until it happens to you. The 2 were last seen walking to a convenience store. WKYT-TV in Lexington reported their bodies were found in a field a few miles away 3 days later. Police have said they believe Gibson may have been targeted and her brother was killed because he was a witness. Jamie Gibson was 14 when his sister was killed. He says his family has lived in fear for the past 20 years, scared for other people you know, he said. Someone might make them mad and they might do it to somebody else, and it's frightening. Clayton Gibson says he plans on holding that sign in the middle of town every evening until his sister's killer is found. The brothers hope the constant reminder of the murders in the middle of town will be too much to take for the conscience of those involved. I want the killer to know, or killers, I'm looking for you, and I won't ever stop looking for you, and may God have mercy on your souls. That's what Clayton Gibson said, the younger brother of Linda. There's so many cases just like this that are just out there, and here they are right here. So if you're wondering what they look like. And by the way, guys, if you'd like to help out the channel, feel free to do so. We've got the, I have to do these plugs every night now. So here we go. This year we've donated $34,500 to various charities, and that includes RAIN, which is Violence Against Women. That's exactly what happened in this case. $4,200. The Libby Abbey Ballpark, $1,500. The DNA Fund, $17,500. And one of both the cases that we funded are moving forward right now in a good place. And then also we have $2,500 in there for the next case. $4,800. I forgot what that was for. Innocence Project, $1,000. Polk County Sheriffs, $500. Charlie Project, $500. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 4,200. And then the Libby Abbey Ballpark, 1,500. And then there was one more on here. It was the Texas EquiSearch, 4,800. So we're kicking ass over here, and it only happens because of you guys, the generous freaks. And you're also helping to support my channel that allow me to keep doing shows covering even these types of cases. But I do notice, by the way, that when I cover these kind of cases, the enthusiasm in the chat and the number of people here is a lot less. So I'm probably stupid in terms of, you know, business-wise and sort of like trying to build the channel really fast and everything. But I just, you know, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm going to be covering all kinds of cases. That's what I do. And I'm not going to sit there and keep covering the same case over and over and over and over and over and over again every single night when there's nothing to be talking about. All right? So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. But I do notice that it is kind of strange how that works, though. You know, when you're covering these kind of cases, it's just not, the enthusiasm level drops dramatically. So anyways, this is them right here. Linda Gibson, Cody Garrett. And this is from 2 days ago. Oh, not 2 days ago. I think this is from July 9th, 2019, this article. Let's see what this said.
This Somerset street corner has not changed much in 25 years, just like the unease Clayton Gibson feels about the unsolved murder of his... This Somerset street corner has not changed...
All right, let's see where this is.
This Somerset street corner has not changed much...
Okay. I wonder if that's the one. No. That looks different, right? Is that different? No, that's it. That was the right one. I picked the right one there. So that's the store they went to, just like I said. That was the only one that was around. And they lived over here, and then they went and they were over at this church later. That's what I think.
Much in 25 years, just like the unease Clayton Gibson feels about the unsolved murder of his sister and her half-brother.
You know, and they was murdered like you would. They was killed like a stray dog you would out here on the side of the street and thought no more of.
Last seen leaving Convenient on July 3rd, 1994, only to be discovered 4 days later 2 miles away in a fence row. No one has been arrested.
Because of the circumstances and the people that was involved.
Clayton Gibson believes more than one person was responsible for the brutal murder of the two. Police believe Linda Gibson was the target, but the 4-year-old saw it and was murdered because he could have identified the killer.
To ease my mind, I just have to think that they're in heaven and with Jesus, and there they can't be hurt no more.
Time would indicate this is a cold case, but police say they don't see it that way. They say their detectives are always actively working on it and hopes they will get that tip to lead them to make an arrest. Even after 25 years, Gibson believes it could be as simple as a phone.
Thanks, Laura Nelson. I heard Chewbacca.
Call from just the right person.
I just wish that maybe somebody, if they could have maybe heard something that night or that evening or saw something.
Gibson says people were afraid to come forward in 1994. Possibly so many years later, those fears would ease. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
I wish they gave a more specific...
This Somerset that way. 25 years, Gibson believes it could be as simple as a phone call from...
That might just be B-roll footage, too. I don't even know. Okay, there's another article from that same time frame by NBC. 25 years later, victim's brother still searching. Linda Gibson was fun-loving and easygoing 21-year-old woman, according to her younger brother, Clayton Gibson. I wonder if those are them. Mommy, so that's Mommy and Steph. Okay, that's Stephanie when she was younger, and that's the mother. According to Clayton, the Gibson family had always lived in the Somerset, Kentucky area. He told Dateline that in 1994, Linda lived with her 4-year-old daughter, Stephanie, not too far from the family. Clayton said that on July 3rd, 1994, Linda had been watching her younger half-brother, Cody Garrett. He told Dateline that Cody was a sweet and innocent 4-year-old. Clayton said that Linda's daughter, Stephanie, was being watched by Linda's mother that day. Clayton said that the half-siblings went for a walk to a local grocery store that day. They never returned home. According to a Pulaski County Sheriff's Department press release, Linda and Cody were last seen walking along Bourne Avenue near the Dairy Mart. The next day, the 4th of July, their families reported them missing. Dateline was unable to reach an official at the Pulaski Sheriff's Department for comment, but according to their press release, it took 4 days for the Pulaski County Sheriff's Department, along with help from Somerset Police Department, to find their bodies. Their bodies were found in a remote area outside of Somerset, hidden by tall weeds. According to Pulaski Sheriff Department, after investigating the scene, it seemed that Linda and Cody had been murdered elsewhere, and their bodies were then dumped in the field, which was only 2 miles from the road in which they were last seen. It is unclear if there was any evidence left behind, but Clayton told Dateline that he believes there would have been DNA left behind because Linda was the type of person who would have tried to fight off the attacker. Clayton told Dateline that in the weeks and months leading up to July 3rd, his sister had told him their father that she thought someone was going to hurt her. Interesting. Clayton said that his father would beg Linda to tell him who she was talking about and why. He would say, "If you don't tell us, we can't help you." Wow, that sucks that she didn't tell somebody. Why would you tell somebody that you're scared that somebody's going to hurt you and then not tell? It must be a guy that she had seen and she's scared that they'll, I don't know. Seems like you just would have said the name. Clayton told Dateline that Linda would just sit there and cry. The way we lost her was terrible. She was only 21 and she had been used and abused, Clayton told Dateline. And that little 4-year-old baby didn't do anything to nobody. It was tragic, the way we lost them. No arrests have been made, but according to the Pulaski Sheriff's Department press release, the investigation has uncovered possible suspects, and investigators have been concentrating on those leads. I'm no detective, but for 20 years I've gone around door to door asking questions and trying to help solve this case. I hope and pray that somebody would come here and go through Linda and Cody's case again. I just want people to remember Linda and little Cody. If you have any information in this case, please contact the Pulaski County Sheriff's Department at 606-678-5145. Yeah, crazy, huh? Insanity. Yeah, we'll have another case to go through, but it's just about time, you guys. Let's see. Oh, wow. Well, somebody sent me a very nice PayPal there. Thank you very much. Agata. Hopefully I'm saying that right. You know what was weird is, remember that early on, that cat eye donation that came in? What was that? Because I don't see it. Maybe that's what that was, actually. I think that might be what that was. Well, thank you very much. That's right, Kimberly. It's time for vacation. That's how we unlock the second part. I might actually make some other stuff like, camping or something, right? Like, I'm over at a high mountain stream or something. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. A little one. Hello, D&K Rec. Namaste. Oh boy. Yep. And this is a time, if you guys want, you can help out the channel and, buy me some drinks and whatnot. And that also helps out. I send about 40 to 50% of the channel revenue to charities at the end of the month. So whenever you're helping me out, we're also helping out the charities. And if not, we have these crazy nights that aren't quite as... When you're covering these kind of cases, like I said, there isn't the same enthusiasm. Thanks, Amber Maiden. What'd you get me? A rum and coke? I need to have like a drink. Oh, maybe like a bar or something where... What does that have to do with anything, Kiska? We weren't talking about Summer Wells. Put Namaste Gray in the Himalayas. I don't think so. It wouldn't become viral, I can tell you that. Yeah, like a beach bar or something. Although if I went somewhere else like in the woods, I'd have to have different music. Get rid of this. Person strange. A surfing one? Yeah, maybe. A canoe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll build something for that. Yeah. I need multiple variances, like... Yeah.
How about a surfing vacay? Surfer.
Remember that show, Land of the Lost? Thanks, Kit Kat. The show Land of the Lost with the Slee Stacks and just one of the worst shows ever made. Really crappy animations and whatnot. Yeah. Thanks, Apocalypse Fra. Because right now we're at $61 for the show on YouTube, and normal nights $250. You like that show with Chaka the Missing Link?
Tropical fish, palm tree.
Man, that was one of the worst shows ever. That was terrible. Thanks, Jen H. I mean, go watch the beginning of Land of the Lost. It's the worst intro to a show ever. They like literally let water run down a trough and then through some. I mean, it was just absolutely horrible. Where is that? Hold on a second.
Blue Heart, tropical drink.
Oh, is that it? Oh yeah. Oh god. You can't see it. Look at that. Look at that. That is the crappiest thing I've ever. Oh my god. Come on, you gotta admit that was just horrendous, alright? Oh my god. Pouring water down a... Oh, it was just terrible. Thank you, Apocalypse Fra and Gen H. Yeah, wasn't that one of the worst things you ever seen, Brandon? I mean, it was just... Wow. Yikes. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carolina girl. Oh, and there's the Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. I still have Dadio Caspian Horses Rocks as a moderator. I don't know where she is or what she's doing these days, but hopefully she's feeling better. Yeah, I know. Wasn't it? Back then it was like, whoa, this is amazing. Now it's literally one of the worst matting. Why not just take a film of a real river at least? My God, you poured water into, like, it just didn't even look. Oh yeah. Well, here, I'll give you another memory as a kid. Okay, hold on, we got a bunch of them.
That was great. Memories of a kid lol.
Hey, thank you, Ria Mazarone and Kimberly Hennessy. Okay, listen to this, you guys. Remember this one?
Slinky toys are fun toys. What walks downstairs
alone or in pairs and makes the slinkity sound.
A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky.
There we go.
It gives a big lift when what walks.
See, this is the Slinky song, you guys. Remember the Slinky? Listen, here we go.
Downstairs, alone or in pairs, and makes a slinkity sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky. It gives a big lift when wrapped as a gift, a very likable toy. It's falling in place, brings smiles to your face, something kids can enjoy. It's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's a wonderful toy. It's Slinky, it's Slinky. It's fun for a girl and a boy. And Slinky mobiles with big slinky wheels and pistons that move as you go.
It looked like a really cool toy,
It makes a great
though.
sound when you pull it around. The driver's an old-timey fellow. A slinky dog, a slinky train, many more wonderful toys. You tug the string, they do their thing. They're great for girls and boys. They're slinkies, they're
1970s.
slinkies, really wonderful toys. They're slinkies, they're
Good old
slinkies. They're fun for
wholesome
girls
time.
and boys. Slinky?
You know, it was great. It was such wholesome commercials, but that's when all the serial killers were living and doing the crazy shit that they were doing. Right during the Slinky times, you know? You wonder about that. Now, what was the one where the... let's see, operator game commercial. I got the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. So this was the original commercials for Operator.
Doctor, he needs an operation. Is it water on the knees?
No, that doesn't look right. I think that was later. That couldn't have been there. That was 1994. Yeah. So, anyways, it was really the land of the lost. I liked the show when it was going, but man, it was just similar to HR Puffin stuff. And what was the one, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters? Yeah, just really crappy now when you watch them. Yeah, Operation. That's right, not Operator. You never saw the Slinky, huh? Yeah, if you had Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you were the shit, okay? That's the reality of it. If you had Rock'em Sock'em Robots, you ran the whole block, you were the greatest person in the world. I actually made a 3D model when I was at the Art Institute of the Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and you could actually animate it and do everything, and they looked exactly the same. Took me forever, but they looked absolutely real, just like the, it took me, I'd scan it in and then I'd mold, it's hard to explain it, but you have to model it. I wonder if I have that randomly in this. I'll open up Poser, see if it's in there. I might. Oh, you never played it? Rock'em Sock'em Robots? Yeah, you had these little things where you go, and it would punch out, and if you hit in the jaw, the head would pop off. You knocked my block off. You guys don't remember that one? Yeah, the blue, there's red and blue, right. Yeah, so I'm wondering in here if I have Rock'em. I don't know if I loaded in the right library or not. Let's see. No. I don't think so. I think it was an older. I don't think I loaded the library in here. Very old, but I made the entire the whole set. So forget it. What do you mean, who am I? Best game? What does that mean? Okay, well, thank you guys for the vacation. We're at a third of a normal night, but appreciate everybody helping out. Did I want a Slinky for my birthday? I don't know. I mean, they were sort of cool the way they worked. You could do the. I mean, it was just the advancement in toys now is just dramatic. I mean, who the hell would want a Slinky now? I mean, a Slinky was so cool, but there was almost nothing. Like. There's no technology really. It was just like some wire, a loop. What do you call it? I don't even know how to explain it to you. You've seen it before. Just a coil, basically. Okay, I'm gonna get on to the next case. Scooby don't? Oh. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I like Silly Putty. Remember how you could put it on newspaper and it would lift off an exact copy of the newspaper? What the heck? Well, thank you, Nicole Wilson. Jeez. Man, another show saver. See, that's the scary part. Now, I like that you sketched too.
Thank you, Gray.
Well, thank you. Wow. Very generous. Yeah, that's the thing, is that's why I think a lot of people, they just sit there and cover those same popular cases over and over and over again, because they get more people in there, and, you know, I don't want to do it. But anyways, thank you. That was so nice. Let me hit the, give you some freak hearts over there. Very cool. So Stephanie Crane is the next case we're coming up with her. I think she's like 9 years old, and she's missing. And this is out of Idaho. So I was kind of surprised that there was so much coverage, but wait, that doesn't look right. No, it's supposed to be October 12th. Wait, is that right? This is 94 too. April 13th, 94. I knew that was out of order just by reading the top. Search expanded for Chalice Girl. That's her right there. Crane. And Stephanie Crane. So the search for a missing 9-year-old Chalice Girl expanded to all central Idaho, Custer, and Lemhi or Lemhi counties Tuesday afternoon. Stephanie Crane, the daughter of Ben and Sandi Crane of Chalice, hasn't been seen since about 6 p.m. Monday, when she left a local bowling alley. So let's go to Chalice, Idaho. No. So you guys now think back, everybody. Remember all the people doing videos? That was a good point that TF20 just made. All the people that were doing videos on the orange markers were part of the crime scene and all this stuff, and they're bullet holes, and they just know it is, and all the experts. Well, where was that in the autopsy? You know? Yeah, I guess, wow. So they missed every shot? Is that what happened? Every shot was a miss? Wow, I think I've lost 20 subscribers during this show. What happened on this show specifically? I guess I'm just not covering the right stuff. Yeah, at the top up there, I remember it was 67,450 something. Yeah, but when you're covering the Gabby Petito case 24/7, man, it just keeps ticking up and up and up and up. That's okay though. It's gonna take me a long time to get to 100,000. Probably a long time to get to 68 even now, because once you don't start doing that, covering the same case over and over, the big ones. You're sort of taken out of the algorithm. I mean, it's amazing. Like, you'll get like 200, 300, 400, 300, 200, and as soon as you cover something else, 2. But Didn't anybody else want to, you know, after watching some of your shows, want to subscribe or something? I mean, it's pretty strange. I don't know how they do it, but yeah. Well, YouTube also does remove people that accounts that they determine to be fraudulent or something. Who the hell unsubscribe is when they leave? I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the way it is. It's going to take me a while to get to 100,000, but what I like are the people who watch the show are interested in what we are doing. I mean, for those of you who are new that are sitting here right now, is we got a 1961 hitchhiker, John Doe, out of Bibb County, Alabama, that we put at least $6,000 or $7,000 towards, because that county had no money, and we through identifinders with Colleen Fitzpatrick, we're paying for the full investigatory aspect of the case in terms of identifying who this person is. We paid for extracting the DNA. Then we went through enrichment one time. That ended up not working very well, but this is kind of how it is, the trial and error. Then we went back from the DNA. They didn't put it through enrichment. Then it looked good. And then they sent it off to another company who takes the DNA, formats it correctly for for GEDmatch. And then just recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, they uploaded it to GEDmatch. And we're waiting for the database to populate for all their matches. And then it just did that a few days ago. And then after that, they were able to, apparently, there are some good leads, and it's going well, the investigation from the genealogist. So I don't know about you guys, but if it ever leads to an actual name and it gets solved, I'm going to feel like $1 million, right? Like, it's all worth it. So that's what we're doing. So when you're supporting my channel, you know that like I said, a large portion goes to doing that. And we, since last year, have donated $56,500 since January 2020. Now, you go find another channel that does anything like that except stare at a screen over and over again, 24/7, covering the same damn case over and over and over again, getting super chats and views, but not sending a nickel to anybody, okay? So there's the difference. And I wish people would realize that, but unfortunately they don't. Yeah. No, I'm talking about it was unsubscribing Alifare. That doesn't cost anything. Yeah, you're not lemmings. Wow. Let's watch this video of the front yard for hours and talk about nothing. Right. Okay, so let's get on to this. So we're in this town of Chalice right here. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably wrong. You always say everything wrong no matter what. Okay. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another program over here, Ben Verified, just in case. I think I can get an address here. Stephanie Crane, daughter of Ben Crane. Okay, so let me do that. And yep, has him at 57 now. That's about right. He probably would have been 30-ish at the time. Oh, he passed away though, unfortunately. Oh, he lived in Bend, Oregon for a while. Probably after that. Yep. And they only had a P.O. box for the address in Chalice. So if anybody else out there can find that, the address in Chalice, that'd be cool. So, alright, let me get back to this. The search for a missing 9-year-old Chalice girl expanded to all central Idaho, Custer, and Lemhi counties Tuesday afternoon. Stephanie Crane, daughter of Ben and Sandi Crane of Chalice, hasn't been seen since about 6 p.m. Let me try Sandi, though. Hold on. Then we'll get back to it. Let me just put Sandi in there instead. No, it's what we are doing, Karen. Because without you guys, I can't do it. You know? God, she passed away too? What's going on here? She died in 1997. What the hell's going on? At least I think that's the same one. Although they spelled Sandi differently. No? Same P.O. box as the father, so. Wow. I wonder if we'll read about that. All they give you is a P.O. box. So, authorities said the girl had to cross Garden Creek on her way home. So, where's Garden Creek? Is that a street? Yeah, Garden Creek Road. And so, that's this thing right here. So we'll eventually probably get it all dialed in, but just got to start off somewhere. Garden Creek Road. My opinion, I think it meant personal opinion, is that Garden Creek isn't deep enough and strong enough. So they were wondering if the stream feeds into the Salmon River, but a day-long search turned up nothing. So they're actually talking about an actual creek here. So is it this creek? Yeah, I bet you that's what that is. And there's a Garden Creek Road as well. I wonder if they're talking about how it... it's a really tiny little town, though. A local search was started about 3 hours after the girl was last seen. Authorities thought it possible that she stayed overnight at a friend's house, but when she didn't show up for school Tuesday, the search intensified. Mel Hawkins, Custer County Sheriff's Department spokeswoman, said officials believe Stephanie was either lost or the victim of a possible stranger abduction. The search and rescue team was summoned from Blaine County. State and county officers joined in using tracking dogs and riders on horseback, like EquiSearch. An aerial search was started in the mountainous Chalice area. Officials said the FBI might be asked to join the investigation on Wednesday. The girl, who turned the age of 9 about 2 weeks ago, was described as 4'2", 65 pounds, and when last seen was wearing maroon sweatpants and a hooded sweat top with a light stripe. Custer County officials said they were looking for a small, bright yellow pickup truck with red pinstripes. I guarantee it, Nicole's out there looking for the address. Hey, thank you, Karen Watton. We say thank you for allowing us to do what you do. Well, I mean, it's sort of this crazy synergy thing. Like, I can only do this.
Say thank you for allowing us to do what you do.
That was weird. There was no music with that. It just said what it said. Like, you guys allow me to do, you know, by supporting the channel, to, you know, justify doing 3 to 4 hour shows every single night. And then because of that, I'm able to take a huge portion of the proceeds, and that's what we're doing. So, you know, it's pretty amazing. Like something stuck to my nose. So thank you guys. The Freaks. There we go, right there. Boom. Yeah, she's good at, she knows how to use the genealogy sites like Dan Carr does, too. The daughter of Ben and Sandi Crane disappeared Monday night after... Okay, so local lead a dead end and missing girl probe. A lead in the search of a missing 9-year-old Chalice girl turned out to be a dead end. However, according to Captain Randall White of the department, deputies responded to a report of a yellow truck matching one of the descriptions of vehicles possibly involved in the disappearance of Stephanie Crane. However, White said a check of the truck came up with nothing. Meanwhile, Chalice businesses are operating with skeleton crews and employees search the area for the 9-year-old girl missing since Monday night. Outrage is uttered again and again as residents find their protected, friendly little town of 800 in central Idaho can suffer from crimes just like the big cities. People here consider this utopia, said volunteer searcher Jan Long. Things like this don't happen in Chalice. If something happens with one of our kids, you usually know it before they get home. That's why we're so outraged. The volunteer search team looking for Stephanie Crane expanded to up to 1,000 people Wednesday, but authorities said they had no leads. The daughter of Ben and Sandi Crane disappeared Monday night after bowling. So now we can go to bowling. I'm sure that's still there. There's probably only one, and there it is, and that's the creek that she probably would have had to cross right there to go home. Okay, so now we got the bowling alley, and that's the same name in the paper, Chalice Lanes. Now let's see. Yeah, Chalice Lanes. Yeah, there you go. I'll just say Chalice Lanes. There you go. So let's see right there. Street views right on it. So she was bowling right there. And then apparently right there is this creek. You can see it. And I guarantee it, that's the creek they're talking about, because she would have had to cross it, they say, to get home, and that's right here, and this tree line is the creek. And, you know, right there, she wouldn't have had to, because she had been on the road, but I guess even the road crosses it. And apparently then they say that feeds into down here. That's not going to happen, okay? There's no way. And what time of year was this? Now it's October. You know, it would be raining a little bit more probably in Idaho at that point. And look at this. Really cool little town, actually, isn't it? Let's see when you go right here just to look around a little bit. Very cool. So I can get rid of this now. And so right now we have this area. Okay, she's a good kid, Chalice Lane worker Ron Spiker said. I saw her 5 minutes before she left. I put away her shoes. A shot fired the length of the main street in Chalice late Wednesday would not have hit anyone. Businesses closed or operated with skeleton crews as workers joined the search. Nearly every store had a flyer with Stephanie's picture taped to its window. Attendance was off 10% at Chalice Junior Senior High School. Older students were excused from classes to help with the search. How cool is that? That the whole town came together to help. Look at that old. You know what? I got to go use the restroom. I just realized. I'll just turn up this regular background music. There you go, everybody. That's the actual sound. Now look at that Kentucky Fried Chicken ad. Yeah. All right. Well, every once in a while I do bring up something political, though, baked cake. Even though it has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do, you know. And people don't like it, so yeah, how it goes. All right, here we go. Let me get back to this. Custer County authorities are looking for some outside help in the search for a 9-year-old Chalice girl who's been missing since Monday. Sheriff Al Finley issued an appeal at a news conference Friday for anyone who was in central Idaho mountain area earlier this week to telephone the sheriff's office if they saw anything unusual. Sandi Crane hasn't been seen since Monday evening at Chalice. Despite a massive search that involved up to 1,000 people, not a single lead has been developed. Authorities are treating it as a likely abduction. Finley said he hoped somebody who was in the area noticed something that would help find Stephanie. With the opening of deer season, hunters were in the area, he said. Let us check it out, he said. Anyone who was in the area Monday, give us a call. About 50 people continued looking Friday, although with diminishing hope. Basically, they are doing a few remote areas, but mostly it is areas they have already gone over once and they are rechecking. The search will continue despite the lack of progress. It will continue as long as they feel there is a need for it. Yeah, do you need to actually type that sentence in? I mean, of course, yeah. Well, we're not going to search, even though we need it. Yeah. Flyers sent out to find missing girl. Thank you, Notorious Nance. My freaks. The scope of a search for a missing 9-year-old Chalice girl has gone nationwide. The Kevin Collins Foundation for Missing Children has set up an office in Chalice and will send 400,000 flyers to law enforcement offices, social service agencies, magazines, and other groups. Stephanie Crane was reported missing the night of October 11th. About 1,000 people have looked for her in Custer and Lemhi counties. A lot of the kids have been found nationwide. Kidnapping causes a great deal of movement, and that creates a great deal of problems for law enforcement. This is a huge county, and the rest of the country doesn't know who she is. Over the weekend, volunteers distributed flyers about Stephanie in other Idaho cities. The foundation is located at 700 Main Street in Chalice, actually. Let me check to see something real fast. Nope. Thought for sure Nicole Wilson was going to be sending me an email with the address. All right. Then on October 21st, Sheriff Doubt's sketch is key to kidnap case. A composite sketch of a man labeled as suspect in the abduction of Stephanie Crane is being circulated in the Chalice area, but Sheriff Al Finley is playing down its importance. Stephanie 9 was last seen October 11th, despite a massive search that reached nationwide and a $50,000 reward fund. No leads have been found. Finley said his department did not release the sketch, although it might if investigation points in that direction. He said the sketch was drafted from a description given by children who saw a man watching Stephanie in the bowling alley where she was last seen. The composite is nothing more than a vague investigative lead. Yep, that's exactly right. Finley said he doesn't know how the sketch got out to the public. It was something for our purposes, he said. It could be something, but on the other hand, it might not be. Law enforcement officials and residents of the small mountain community are desperate for clues after widespread searches last week failed to provide any help. Small groups still are looking in some remote areas, Finley said. Investigators have interviewed a few lookalikes resembling the man. The Fox television network program America's Most Wanted aired a short segment Tuesday night about Stephanie's disappearance. And by the way, this isn't John Walsh. You know, his questions today were so ludicrous that I don't even know what he was doing at that press conference. It was unbelievable. All right. But as of Wednesday, Finley said he had no leads from the program. Officials were looking for a small yellow pickup truck with red pinstripes seen near Chalice High School, but numerous telephone tips have produced nothing, Finley said. 14 FBI investigators helped the case last week. 3 state investigators remain on the scene this week. Yeah, wasn't that wild? Oh, I know. Okay, so you were out there, right? They have a P.O. box listed. You probably saw that. Hey, look at this. Hey, guess who joins the search here? Yay! Yeah. There we go. Round Valley Trails. Let's see. Ah. Is that what this road is? I mean, all of them are right on the... Like Highway 93, is that Round Valley Trails? Don't know what that means. Yeah, searchers have combed parts of central Idaho on the advice of a psychic. Wow, what a waste of money. Who said they might find 9-year-old Sandi Crane. What do you mean might? Shouldn't you just know? Because we all speculate, so I thought psychics aren't speculating. Yeah. Psychic from coast to coast have joined the search. Right when the desperation sets in, the psychics descend down on the families like vultures looking for carrion. I mean, just sick. Psychics from coast to coast have joined the search for Crane, who disappeared October 11th while walking home from the bowling alley, Sheriff Deputy John Bryant said. So far, nothing has turned up, he said. We're not leaving any stone unturned. If they call us and tell us they've seen her, we'll look. One psychic, whose name Bryant would not release, told searchers to look in an area near McKay that had a pond okay, and railroad tracks. There is such an area, but the tracks were removed years ago, he said. She almost had it. Volunteers have not found a clue to the girl's disappearance. Meanwhile, the friend of Stephanie headquarters in Chalice said more volunteers and donations are needed to continue a mass mailing of flyers. The group has mailed about 25% of the 40,000 flyers, which would be 100,000. After a double murder-suicide this year, the first in 13 years, and Stephanie's disappearance, people are getting paranoid. They're even looking at some of their friends. They're wondering about each other, he said. They don't believe these kinds of things can happen in this community. Task force revived for missing. Okay, a task force of local and federal law enforcement officials. See, we're all right around the same date. So it started on the 13th was the first article. She went missing on the 11th of October 1993. This is the 28th of 1993. A task force of April, or not April, October. So right now we're about 2 weeks after she went missing, maybe 17 days. A task force of local and federal law enforcement officials have been revived to investigate new leads in the disappearance and suspected abduction of 9-year-old Chalice girl. Some members of the task force, established when Sandi Crane disappeared 2.5 weeks ago, returned to the mountain community this week to assist the Custer County Sheriffs Department in the case. But officials declined to discuss details of any of the new developments. The girl was last seen about what? The girl was last seen about 6 p.m., but they put another about here. The girl was last seen about 6 p.m. October 11th outside the Chalice High School. Now it's the Chalice High School. Well, let's see where that is. Ben Crane does on
Ray, that is very odd. Ben Crane does on October 11th as well.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, I saw that he died. I didn't really look at the date. I wonder if he killed himself. Oh man, that'd be kind of weird too. You know? That seems too coincidental, right? Elementary, yeah. Okay, so does that mean that she made it from here to there? Oh, well, thanks, Angelina ATF. Hi, Gray. For you. Psychic, my friend. Crystal balls, my friend. I watch but often do not comment. Well, you sure got a lot of creative emojis there, I can tell you that. But it's kind of strange that he died on the same day. I didn't notice that when I was looking at it.
I'll get you back if you want me to.
That's the day she went missing.
Hiya Gray, double exclamation mark, woman raising hand, for you, crystal ball, crystal ball, crystal ball, my friend, double exclamation mark, I watch but often do not comment, double exclamation mark, waving hand, smiley face.
But you forgot the Shaka Streamlabs. You notice that? We're all still looking for a yellow pickup truck. Alright, so down here, the girl was last seen at about 6 p.m. October 11th outside Chalice High School. So that's interesting because now it sounds like she got out of away from the bowling alley and is now seen over here because this is later. So let's see, 6 p.m. What time did they say she was at that bowling alley though? They are still looking for a yellow pickup truck with red pinstripes seen near the high school on the night Stephanie vanished. The truck was last seen headed towards Stanley. Okay, so where's Stanley? Okay, so that means that it was heading west. This direction. Yeah, I haven't seen Cairo in a few days. Sometimes he just takes off for a while. You don't see him. Missing uncle, missing girl linked. Custer County authorities have issued a statewide alert for the relative of a Chalice girl who disappeared on October 11th. Has he done any live streams that you guys have seen? Police say Robert Paul Crane, 43, is wanted. So this is another person. Let me look him up. That's one of the other people I was going to look up earlier. Robert. Okay, so he's 71 right now. And he might not have ever. Yeah, that's him though. Let me check this out. He died too. Man, these guys are Jesus. He died in 2000, so he was only 51 when he died. That's weird how they've all died so early like that. So they're looking for Robert Paul Crane, 43, is wanted for questioning in connection with the disappearance of his great niece, 9-year-old Stephanie Crane. They warned Thursday that Crane, who is also wanted on probation violations, may be armed and dangerous. He is wanted as a probation violator, but as a family member, we need to talk to him about the case. Stephanie disappeared that night while walking home from the bowling alley. Hundreds of people have Custer and Lemhi counties to find her. So he did live in Idaho at one point, and that would have been in, I guess it was Jerome, Idaho. Let me see what this is. But in 1994, he lived in Vancouver, Washington. That's kind of up more closer to where I live. So this is apparently where he lived when he died, right here. Yeah. So let me see if in Vancouver, Washington, I'll put that in there. And this is the same year and everything. Isn't that looks like a 7-Eleven. What's his address? Yeah, so that was, looks pretty much the same. Maybe that was just his work spot. I don't know. Not sure why that's in there. The street name that you found? You can just type it in, Nicole. But I appreciate your yeah, I mean, you're so generous that I don't want you to. You know, I would see it even if you had just typed it in. Let's see. Oh, that's Sandi, yeah. They spell her name wrong in the paper. They always put like an a Y in the paper, but it's an I at the end. Sandi, S-A-N-D-I.
I emailed a street name I found.
Okay, so apparently it's round. Oops, wrong one. That's not even the right place. Ew. There it is, right there. What's the name of this town again? Chalice. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Type that in again. Round Valley Trails. Oh yeah, well, that's what that guy sent earlier. Same thing. Yeah, it doesn't really. It might be this because all of these are right along that, but it doesn't sound like there's an actual street there named that. Yeah, somebody typed that in earlier. Same thing. Okay, back to the story here. Thank you for sending that in. They warned Thursday that Crane, who was also wanted on probation violations, may be armed and dangerous. He is wanted on a probation violation. Stephanie disappeared that night. So what do you mean that night? He is wanted in probation violation, but as a family member, we need to talk to him. Stephanie disappeared that night while walking home from the bowling alley. That night. Thursday, that Crane, who was also wanted on a probation violation. Not sure why they're saying that night. Search includes kin of missing girl. A Jerome fugitive is among 3 leads Custer County officials are pursuing in their search for a missing Chalice girl. Robert Paul Crane, 43, is the great uncle. How is that possible? "43 and you're a great uncle?" Is that like, maybe he was a younger sibling, really young sibling or something like that, of, yeah, almost like that last case, you know, where you have a 4-year-old brother and you're 20-something. He's an investigative lead, like a lot of other leads, before we can say he's a suspect or eliminate him as one. Custer County Sheriff Arvin Finley said Friday, but Robert Crane's whereabouts have been unknown since June 13, 1989, when he failed to contact probation officers in Twin Falls, Jerome County prosecutors said. Crane had been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment in January 1988 on drunken driving charges. Where is that? Let me go check out this guy's criminal history over here. Just a second. Yeah, so he's got a driving under the influence. And that's really all that pops up. Crane had been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment in January 1988. And that doesn't even have a date on it. On drunken driving and driving without insurance. But he was released on probation in August 1988. He asked that supervision be transferred to California March 8, 1989. 2 months later, he requested to return to Idaho. He never did. He contacted probation officers twice on May 17th and June 4th, 1989, but failed to meet a June 13th deadline with those officers. A $10,000 bond was issued June 22nd, 1989, for his arrest on charges of violating his probation. Jerry Packer, district manager for the State Department of Correction, Probation, and Parole Agency in Twin Falls, wasn't available for comment Friday. Crane had a previous arrest record. Jerome County Sheriff George Silver III said Friday, in a 5-month span in 1985, Crane had been arrested on charges of driving without privileges, disorderly conduct, and 2 separate charges of battery. I don't see those. Though Crane has been wanted by Jerome County authorities since 1989, recent phone calls have traced him to Colorado, Silver said. Robert Crane is 6'2", weighs 200 pounds, and has brown hair and hazel eyes. Meanwhile, authorities in Custer County said Friday the search for Stephanie Crane has been frustrating. Custer County Chief Deputy John Bryant said county, state, and federal investigators are following a couple of leads. They're not really high, but they're fairly strong leads, Bryant said. It's becoming a very frustrating exercise. Calls have come into the county sheriff's office from across the United States. He said, we're actively pursuing anything we're getting. It is statistically probable, though, that a family member or someone close to the family knows where Stephanie is. We think maybe somebody has seen something and hasn't told us, he said. You still out there checking it out, Nicole? Like a dog with the bone. Let's see. I wonder why they mentioned in front of the high school. Maybe they meant to say bowling alley. Crane caught, questioned on missing girl, so they did find him. The FBI in Colorado has captured the Jerome fugitive who was wanted for questioning in the disappearance of 9-year-old Stephanie Crane of Chalice. Robert Crane, 43, was caught Thursday, said Les Simpson of Idaho Falls, base investigator with Idaho Bureau of Investigation. He has not been charged in Stephanie's disappearance. Crane has provided investigators with alibis for the time period. Simpson said he did not know where in Colorado Crane was captured. Crane is the great uncle of Stephanie, who disappeared about 6 p.m. October 11th, apparently while walking home from a Chalice bowling alley. So maybe she walks by the high school. Despite a nationwide manhunt for Crane, Simpson declined to call Crane a prime suspect. We just needed to get him cleared and hadn't been able to find him. In a 5-month period in 1985, Crane was arrested in Jerome County on charges of driving. Yeah, we already got that. All right, so we got that, and then we're in November now, November 6th. I guess that's about 3 some odd weeks. So this is pretty much the same thing. There he is right there, though, Robert Crane. He's claiming he wasn't in Chalice on the 11th. He's claiming he doesn't know anything about it. Authorities are questioning Robert Paul Crane, 43, who was arrested in a rural area of western Colorado. Crane had been wanted for questioning since Stephanie's disappearance. A yellow pickup similar to Crane's was spotted near the high school. So he does have a yellow pickup truck. And he's a family member. Simpson said authorities believed Crane was in Colorado and traced him to a post office box. In a 5-month period in 1985, Crane was arrested in Jerome. Yeah, we got that part. All right. Now we're about a month later, December 4th, 1993. Yeah, he's got that yellow pickup truck that was similar to the one that was spotted. Police want to bring Crane's relative back to Idaho. Crane, relative, back to Idaho for violation. So they must be kind of like suspicious of this guy. Idaho law enforcement officials are trying to bring the great uncle of a missing Chalice girl to Jerome County for probation violations. Robert Paul Crane, 43, was arrested in Jerome County on October 3rd, 1987 for drunken driving. Crane was placed on probation. He moved to California and then asked to return to Idaho. But he failed to meet a June 13th, 1989 deadline. Crane had several arrests in 1985. So now they want to bring him back. And then 9 days after that, so I think that's pretty much the same. He missed another deadline. They don't think he was in Chalice at the time, he said. I'm not going to stick my neck out for that. So the FBI doesn't think he was in Chalice at the time. Correa has fought extradition and refuses to call Idaho authorities about Stephanie Simpson said. It's such small writing I can barely see it. Jerome County Prosecutor John Horgan could not be reached for comment on whether he intends to refile a warrant for Crane's arrest. Crane was sentenced to 5 years in prison in January 1988 on the DUI charge and was released on probation in August 1988. Okay, then 1994, so about 4 months later, Jerome Mann returns after breaking probation. So they're still, talking about this guy. A man who has had a bench warrant for his arrest is issued against him. Sorry. Is issued against him since 1989. I was thinking, man, is sued against him? That's terrible English. Denied he violated conditions of his probation. Robert P. Crane, 44, appeared before Judge Philip Becker Tuesday after he was brought back from Arizona. Crane had been found guilty of driving under the influence of alcohol in 1988. He was placed on probation but did not report to his probation officer as required. Anyways, there's just kind of nickel and diming this guy here. And now it's 16 months later. Sort of things are going exponentially longer between articles. 2 years on, questions remain. So let's see what they've developed in the 2 years. Usually get a better synopsis. 2 years since the disappearance of his 9-year-old daughter, Ben Crane, it's also the name of a golfer, still has his doubts about who did it. The question haunts him daily. This time of year is the worst. Crane remembers the little girl who followed in her daddy's footsteps even when they led to the mountains at hunting season. It's like she's my hunting buddy, he said in a telephone interview. Stephanie Crane disappeared October 11th, 1993, apparently while walking home alone from the town bowling alley. Massive search and the offer of $100,000 reward turned up no clues. Crane, 31, no longer is married to Stephanie's mother, Sandi, who moved to Battle Mountain, Nevada about 6 months ago. They were divorced in July of 1994. Yeah, that's weird, I don't know. Like, why do they get divorced? I mean, people get divorced when children go missing. But then he dies on her birthday? I mean, the date she went missing? That's a little strange. They were divorced in July 1994, but tried living together again later that year. It didn't last long. Stephanie's disappearance and the stress it brought was a factor in the divorce, but Crane said there were other reasons. He admits because of continuing questions from investigators that he is bothered by doubts he has about his wife and what, if anything, she knows. What? So he admits because of continuing questions from investigators that he is bothered by doubts he has about his wife and what, if anything, she knows. I don't understand that sentence there, but I still wonder about that, he said. It pretty much bothers me that they want to look at her again. What for? Sandi Crane couldn't be reached in Nevada. She told the Post-Register last November that she was asked to undergo lie detector tests, but that's kind of interesting, right? Why the hell are they looking at her? But said she had no idea what was behind her child's disappearance. They have just about accused me of killing my daughter, she said last year. Wow. I wasn't even thinking that she was part of anything. I can't see any mother doing it. I just can't believe that a mother can kill her own kids. At the time, she was talking about herself and Susan Smith, the South Carolina woman convicted of killing her sons. Crane said investigators want to talk to his ex-wife again. Last year, he was angry about the focus of the family on the family as possible suspects. This year, while upset with the slow progress of the investigation, he says he wonders about his wife. But Crane has no idea who took Stephanie. He has no reason to suspect his wife other than the continued focus on her. Custer County Sheriff Al Finley still has an investigator working the case, believe it or not. We're still working on some new leads, he said Tuesday. Finley wouldn't comment on possible suspects, including family members. He said work has slowed significantly. Most of the hundreds of old leads were dead ends, but not for lack of trying. I don't think there's anybody in Chalice and Custer County that forgotten Stephanie Crane, Finley said. Posters bearing her grinning, freckled face still abound in Chalice, many with fresh purple ribbons. A hunter was white as sheet after he found some bones last week, but it was bear bones, Finley said. Deer bones found at about the same time last year also raised speculation. With every call, the sheriff hopes for a break. The solution to her whereabouts continues to haunt him. I hate to have to take that to the grave without being being able is what you meant to put in there. Being able to tell the parents what happened to their daughter. Crane said the wait for answers is hard on everyone, including Stephanie's 3 sisters who live with him. Yeah, so nothing. And then that was 1995, 2002. Now this one should include an update about the father not being alive anymore, I would imagine, because I think he died before this, if I'm remembering correctly. Wasn't it 1997? Yeah. A man who killed himself after abducting a 14-year-old girl from her yard may have been in Chalice in 1993 when 9-year-old Stephanie Crane disappeared. After leading sheriff deputies on a chase through 3 eastern Idaho counties to Targhee National Forest Wednesday, Keith Glenn Hescock, 42, shot himself in the head. Authorities are going through 2 truckloads of evidence from Hescock's home to see if the crime may have involved more than his suspected abduction of a 14-year-old girl on Wednesday. It is obvious what kind of deviant he was. Police said that after abducting the girl, who was sleeping outside with her sister on a trampoline, Hescock chained her to furniture in his house before he went to work. The girl freed her hands and pounded the chain with a fire extinguisher for hours to break it. She then found an envelope with Hescock's address and called a family friend who picked her up and brought her home. Wow, that's really amazing that she did that. She knew she had a certain amount of time to do it. Hescock saw deputies waiting at his house and led them on a high-speed chase into the mountains of Madison County before reaching a dead end at a forest road. Okay, the mom was 97. Okay. Let's see. Before reaching a dead end on a forest road. Hescock killed a police dog and shot Bonneville County Sheriff's Deputy Todd Raymond in the leg, Madison County Sheriff Roy Klinger said. He then shot himself in the head. Deputies do not believe it is chance that Hescock took a dead-end road in the Heiss area Wednesday. He chose to take a road that had an obvious dead end. As we analyzed this, we wondered if it had some connection to Amber Hoops. Hescock may have made 3 cellular telephone calls during the chase, including one to his mother, in which he vowed not to return to prison. Hescock had served 2 years on burglary convictions in Oregon. The tool salesman also once worked at Classic Truck and Auto Body Hoops 20, Hoops 20, whose family owned the business, disappeared last September. Hescock was questioned by police who could not find any physical evidence to charge him. That's kind of interesting. Deputies also are following up on a tip that Hescock may have been in Chalice area when 9-year-old Stephanie Crane disappeared while she was walking home from the bowling alley. All right, and then we just moved to, there was nothing in newspapers.com or anything, but now we've got from yesterday.
28 years ago today, the lives of the Crane family in Chalice would change forever. Their 9-year-old daughter, Stephanie Crane, disappeared. Stephanie had gone bowling that day around 4 in the afternoon. She only had to walk about 500 yards to her home when she was done, but she never returned home. According to police report, she was done, but she never returned. She only had to walk about 500 yards to her home when she was done, but she never returned home. According to police reports, at 5:30, Stephanie's mother had a funny feeling something was wrong and started looking for her before contacting the Custer County Sheriff's Office around 8 o'clock. And started looking for her before.
Is it pinging on a house, like right there? Let's just randomly see. I don't know if that's... Is that even the same town? I don't even know if I'm looking what we're looking at there. I don't see that
before
shape. There's
contacting
no
the
lake.
Custer County Sheriff's Office around 8 o'clock that night.
B-roll footage.
Since that time, the Custer County Sheriff's Office says it has followed up on several tips that have turned up nothing. The case has also been featured on multiple crime shows. The Sheriff's Office says the case is still open and will remain open until Stephanie is found.
Yeah, they have like a age progression. You know, it's not like she ran away or anything. So let me let me look at something here. Yeah, I'm just looking at that picture, that mountain back there, just trying to... I don't know if these are all mountains or what's going on here. That's such a weird picture. Those look like clouds, but they're really odd looking. Well, let's just take a guess. Let's see. She was over here, and then she was walking home, and yeah, it might not even be there anymore. That's the problem. So you got a building, and then there's another building off that's connected to it, it looks like. Could be anywhere. Yeah, this looks like a really... There's probably some nice homes and then crappy ones, I would imagine. I wonder if the high school, it was only mentioned one time, if that was just an error. There's a bowling alley. She would have had to cross the creek to get home. So, but she could have lived anywhere. Maybe over here. Yeah, see, now I'm down to 67,435, and it was at 67,437 before. And that was even just got a subscriber right there. Isn't that great? Yeah, anyways. Yeah. So they were saying it was on that road that kind of was going like this. I mean, yeah, it's too random. I need a little bit more specific information. I could spend all day and probably figure it out, but don't really have it. This is East Idaho News put an article out yesterday too. So let's see what they have. On October 11th, 1993, the 9-year-old girl from Chalice disappeared while going bowling with their friends after school. At around 8:15 now, instead of that 6 from earlier, remember? Stephanie's mother, Sandi Crane, okay, there we go, came into Custer County Sheriff's Office to report that she could not find her daughter. Stephanie was 3.5 feet tall, between 75 and 80 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Man, just so tiny. She was wearing maroon sweats, a maroon and white striped top, probably like that, with the words "Gimme" across the front, and maroon and white tennis shoes. By 9 p.m., the Custer County Sheriff's Office, Search and Rescue, and Chalice Volunteer Fire Department were all out searching. So that's really quickly after, within 3 hours anyways. The first lead in the search was that someone had seen her headed home. Prior to leaving the bowling alley, Stephanie told someone she was going to the football field. The sheriff and one of the deputies searched the creek between the bowling alley and the Crane residence that extended through Chalice, the elementary school, high school, and surrounding areas. So now I think that she lived right around in this area. So let's just take a look. Well, not there, but like in the neighborhood near there. Wait, let me look at that picture again. Yeah, I can definitely see a mountain right over there. Those don't change. Let me go right here. It's like a pretty cool town. That one looks mildly interesting, this one. Got that side building attached to it. How about that one? No. Yeah, it sounds like she must lived right around in this area. I know I could find this if I just wanted to spend 4 hours doing it. I could find this. I'm looking for this house right here. Because they're obviously filming their home, right? You've got this side building here, the mountain right over there. If I could find that mountain, you know, and I've actually done that before. I did that a lot in the Gabby Petito case, actually. In some of the shots, you just look for the mountains in the back, and boom, you know. And so, you know, you look around here, you try to find that same shape, and then you know that you're looking in the direction, and then you try to follow a line on that, and you can find it. So I'm going to go right here to look. So I think that's a better view of the entire mountain range around. It's blocked by everything. God darn it. Sometimes you can even just go like, look like this and find it. You know Morph that comes in here? One of the victims of the Zodiac killer, I spent like 5 hours just for fun trying to find the little island that one of the victims was found on in California. And that's how you did it. I did it. In the background, there's some photos of the crime scene where different landmarks in the background. And after a while, it took me forever, but I found a little island, even though it looks a little different now because of erosion and so forth. So I sent it to him. I wonder if that's the... Yeah, that picture is just so... Like this stuff almost looks like mountains, but it's not. It's clouds, but right there, I can see that, but just not enough stuff. And right there, you could probably read something, but it's too blurry. Frustrating. Okay. So the first lead in the search was that someone had seen her headed home prior to leaving the bowling alley. Stephanie told someone she was going to the football field. The sheriff and one of the deputies searched the creek between the bowling alley and the Crane residence. The search extended through Chalice, the elementary school, high school, and surrounding areas. All of Stephanie's school friends were contacted, and most of her classmates were contacted. The search was suspended at 12:30 a.m. with plans to resume at the search at 7 a.m. So they went almost way early morning and then just waited a few hours till light. The following day, 300 searchers who, 2 planes, hundreds of phone calls, FBI agents, Custer County Sheriff's deputies, Idaho State Police, Idaho Bureau of Investigation, Fish and Game officers, and team of tracking dogs failed to turn up any clues as to Stephanie's whereabouts. Boat crews that checked the river from Chalice to Salmon also failed to, or Salmon, not Salmon, also failed to turn up any sign of Stephanie. Stephanie's disappearance was reported nationally by America's Most Wanted and CNN. Custer County relief on volunteers to hand out relied on. Let me check something out here on YouTube. So let's see. This is Stephanie Crane. So CNN did cover
Today. 300th time of her disappearance. The National Center for Missing
2020.
and Exploited Children, Idaho State Police, and the FBI continued to follow. Her case has been featured on TV shows such as America's Most Wanted. Cold Case has been featured on TV.
Ah, I thought they had the address on that.
TV shows such as America's Most Wanted, Cold Case Spotlight, and Disappeared. As of this month, Custer County Sheriff's Office is still receiving tips, and they're asking that people continue to come forward. There is a $50,000
I'm trying to find like maybe vintage footage. Okay, that's a 25-year-old.
Good evening and thanks for watching. Your fire department looked for Stephanie into the early morning hours
of Chalice, Idaho.
The Custer County Sheriff's Office, along with
Boy.
Search and Rescue and the Volunteer Fire Department, looked for Stephanie into the early morning hours. The next day, over 300 people, along with tracking dogs, searched for Stephanie. Crane's case was featured on America's Most Wanted and most recently on the Discovery series Disappeared on the Investigation Discovery Channel. When Stephanie disappeared, she was 4'2", 65 to 85 pounds. What we're going to show you now is a report from KPVI that aired in 1993 about the possible suspects in the case.
The Idaho Bureau of Investigation has told Newswatch 6 that Stephanie Crane's disappearance may be related to problems inside her immediate family.
Her family existence wasn't ideal, let's put it that way.
IBI says that one-time suspect Robert Paul Crane, Stephanie's great uncle, has an alibi that seems to be holding up. However, they add other family members may be involved. Stephanie's great uncle has an
That's him
alibi
right there.
that seems to be holding up.
Put it that way.
IBI says that one-time suspect Robert Paul Crane, Stephanie's great uncle, has an alibi that seems to be holding up. However, they add other family members may be involved.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody in the family has lent a helping hand to Stephanie, and then when the investigation blew up so large and big, they got scared and panicked.
Meanwhile, other leads continue to come in, including sightings of the Chalice girl, missing since October 11th.
One of them was at a roller skating rink out of state. I called up to check on that, and he says, well, he's seen her twice. He's pretty sure it looks just like her, but nothing that we can follow up on.
The news out of Petaluma, California is also promising. Authorities there have arrested a suspect in the knife-point abduction of 12-year-old Polly Klaas. Richard Allen Davis has a history of criminal activity, including kidnapping. IBI is preparing a line of questioning for Davis, specifically
where he was on October the 11th, and who can justify or help support his location.
IBI confirms that generally the life expectancy for a victim of a stranger abduction is very short.
That was a news report aired in 1993. Now, no charges were ever filed against her granduncle, Robert Paul Crane, in the relation to the disappearance of Stephanie.
Oh, well,
There was another suspect, Keith Glenn Hescock. He was a suspect in another missing persons case. Amber Hoops, as well, it was in a hunt. He was in a hunting in Chalice area when Crane disappeared and his truck was seen in the area. Hescock died in a confrontation with police in 2002 after he shot a police officer, a police dog, and then turned the gun on himself.
Now, this is an age-progressed photo of what Stephanie Crane would look like at the age of 32. Although 25 years have passed, the Custer County Commissioners have approved a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible for her disappearance.
So that was 2018. 6 years ago, there's another one.
Michael, this Sunday marks the 22nd anniversary of Stephanie Crane, the young girl who disappeared in Chalice, the anniversary of that disappearance. In 1993, Stephanie Crane was last seen at the Chalice Lanes bowling alley.
Not really covered that much on YouTube, like none almost. Not surprising though. Not surprising. Alright, so let me get through the rest of this. I was trying to look for a picture of the house again, but didn't find it. Sounds like there was a lot of problems at home, and what they were implying was that somebody tried to get her out of there, a little bit like people are trying to do in the Summer Wells case. Stephanie would have celebrated her 36th birthday with her family and friends. Both of Stephanie's parents passed away without ever knowing what happened to her. Her mother, Sandi Crane, passed away in 1997. Her father, Ben Crane, passed away on October 11, 2012. Both passed away from natural causes. Really? So on the same day, he actually just randomly died. Huh. Stephanie has sisters, grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles that would like to know what happened. In February 2017, a 56-year-old former convenience store clerk was convicted of killing Eaton Patz in 1979. Eaton was the first missing child to be featured on a milk carton. In 2012, Pedro Hernandez confessed to killing Eaton Patz. Eaton's body has not been found. During Hernandez's trial, it was brought out that he had confessed that he killed a child in a prayer group as far back as possibly 1981, and also made confession to his brother-in-law. It appears that no one has reported this to law enforcement. If someone had told you that they had something to do with Stephanie Crane's disappearance, you need to report this to Custer County Sheriff's Office. Even if you think it's not true, all tips and leads are checked into. If someone had told you that they are responsible for the disappearance of someone else, please report that to the appropriate law enforcement authority. Yeah, so if you have any information, call 208-879-2232. Or you can call a sheriff tip line at 208-879-5372. Or you can call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, one of the organizations that we donate to, at 1-800-THE-LOST. Yeah, we should, let me take a look at the Charlie Project Stephanie Crane. They must have something in there. There it is. And there's a little shirt with Gimme on the front. She worked for Hoops' grandparents. I wonder why they're bringing up this Hoops thing so much. Authorities have 5 to 10 persons of interest in Stephanie's case, none of whom are family members. One of them, a woman, refused to answer any questions without an attorney present. Another, a man, took a polygraph on the case and his answers were deceptive but inconclusive. Yeah, well, there you go, everybody. Crazy. Oh, wow. Oh, we had that once with one of our dogs, Nicole. It was like, we had a dog named Ralph who he was near the river and he rolled around in an eel, a dead eel. And my mom tried to use like tomato juice and all this shit, but man, one day Ralph was just gone. Turns out later she brought good old Ralph back to the pound because Ralph was probably the most untrainable dog there ever was, and really my mom was a single mother and really just, didn't have time for a Ralph. Now, if it was a Blue or Chloe, shit, man, you got all kinds of time. But when you take your kids to the beach and the dog rolls around an eel, and you have to drive home with the dog and eel, and tomato juice doesn't remove the odor from it, and then the dog wasn't even a good guard dog. It wouldn't bark if somebody came by the house. It would just sit there. Somebody broke in, stole shit, and he just sat there. Yeah, don't you think it's interesting how we go through these cases? I mean, you know, it's slow, but it's like you're sort of investigating, trying to put together the puzzle pieces. You know, I would say this one here didn't have a lot of elements in it, you know, to really put together something, but a lot of them do. But they all deserve some sort of discussion, at least, so it's out there, right? Unfortunately, there's so many more people. A lot of the people that unsubscribed are the ones that they need the quick fix, you know. Oh, give me something really sensationalistic right this second. Oh, awesome. Yay. You know, that's how it works. And yes, if you're one of those people, please unsubscribe right this second. Thank you. As long as I can get rid of the dead weight, it's always good. It wasn't really that sad. Ralph sucked. Ralph wasn't, you know. None of us felt bad. We just go, oh, where's Ralph? Oh, okay. You know, not one of us missed Ralph. I don't know. I think, you know, I think the regular freaks like looking into cases, you know, like going through the old newspaper articles, and I think actually pre this year, like if you can find stuff from 60s, 70s, and 80s cold cases, those articles they were allowed to go to the crime scene. They gave them all kinds of information. You know, very detailed stuff, where today it's, you know, listen to that medical examiner today. Couldn't answer one question. That's right. You guys are the true freaks. So anyways, I really appreciate you guys' support and hanging out tonight, and all of the various super chats, and somebody named I'll just give her AW as the abbreviation, sent me a nice generous PayPal there. Thank you. Yeah, when you send me 50 links, it's hard to go through them. Somebody sent me a bunch of links on Sandi Crane. Let's see. Yeah, so Crane, he passed away on, yeah, this is like his obituary right here. The father. So that was pretty cool. So someone named Stephanie Fleming sent me these. I guess apparently it says that, hold on, she lived 500 feet from the school. So how about we take one last stab in the dark over here. Go to the school. Put the circle one on here. Put feet on here. And then go right here. And then maybe go to like 550 feet. So that really narrows that down a lot. And that's funny because that one building that I was looking at was inside of that. We can just look around for a little bit. Oops. turned it off. Yeah. So apparently it's right inside that circle right there. Well, this article says, well, she typed it in. I don't know if it says. Let me see what this says. Stephanie was last seen October 11th. Bowling alley located across the street from Chalice High School. Well, it's not really across the street. I mean, the bowling alley's over here. Is that, what's this right here, though? Oh, well, let's see if this is it. Hold on a second. Maybe that's something else. Maybe that's a different, that was the high school, maybe? Or kind of looks like maybe a high school. I don't know. Let me hit places here and see what turns up. Could that have been a high school? That looks like maybe what that's saying. CHS, right? Because that could be Chalice High School right here. Hold on. See, now it's here, but what was this before? Look at, there's even a track there. I'm going to go with this. So now I'm going to put, screw this thing over here. I'm going to put a right here and do 500 feet. Yeah, it looks like a ball field, and it says CHS. This is a junior high over here, so maybe that's what this is. And if that's, I mean, not, ooh, I got the wrong building again. God, idiot. Jeez, hold on a second. It's this building right here, so no wonder they said by the high school, because it's right next to it. That was always bugging me. All right. So now we go right here. Go to like 500. Now she lives that close, just right into the. So let's see what this said. Stephanie was last seen October 11, 1993. Chalice Lane's bowling alley located across the street from Chalice High School. Investigators say she finished bowling and left the alley, headed either to high school to watch soccer practice or to her home located about 500 feet away. So hold on. Left the valley, headed either to the high school to watch soccer practice. Okay, so it's 500 feet from the bowling alley. By God, we're going to get this. What, was there one lane in this sucker? That looks like that could be it. Hold on, that kid. Oh man, look at that. I mean, that. See that little building out to the side? Oh man. And there's no street view over there. Oh, man. That's exactly what... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look as wide, but it has that building off to the side there. And it looks like there's a chimney in the same spot. But so let's look at inside that 500 feet again. Wow, that disappeared again. God, what's going on? So that's 500. That's 555 right there. And so that's inside of that one. And then over here there's just buildings. And she would have had to cross the creek to get to the bowling alley. I bet you that's it. I bet she lived right here in this place. Right there. What do you think? Oh, of course I do. That's what I'm, you know. No, it doesn't say that in the article. It says Stephanie was last seen at 6 p.m. Investigators say she finished bowling and left the alley, headed either to the high school to watch soccer practice or to her own home located about 500 feet away. So that means when she left the bowling alley, she might be going to her own home that's 500 feet away, or going over to the, and I guess the alley would be right here, right? Like you exit the, let's see, let's just take a look at it. You know, maybe that's, you exit that and you're going down the alley, and then you cross over to here to go to the high school, which is just right over here, or going home, which is 500 feet away, and then inside of that is this little house right there that has a similar... Let's go back in time, though, before I really get too into that. 1992, I don't see anything there. 98, 2004, I can't see anything. So that might not even have been there, unfortunately. But she was on this side of the creek. That's 1992. That's a good one to use, but I don't see it there now, so gonna have to call not. Yeah, it sure looked like it, but that's not there in 1992. I don't think. It's hard to see that really well, but 1998, I don't see anything there. 2004. Now there is something there in 2009, and then I like that shot. That's really clear. So maybe we can use this to determine. Yeah, well, the problem is the only place it could be is right in here, because all the rest of this, remember they said you had to cross the creek to get to her house. So here's the bowling alley. You had to cross the creek to get to the house. So it's going to be over on this side. But it could have been that she went to here, and then she'd still have to cross the creek to get to her house, they were thinking. Well, give it a shot anyways. Own home located 500 feet away from the bowling alley. I don't know. I don't think that's the home now. You have to delete it. Does it? Sure looked like it though, didn't it, for a minute? I thought it was the place, but well, what about that one? Yeah, that one looks so good. Same shape and everything. Well, anyways. Shoot. Well, we can just say it's inside of there. That's within 500 feet. I know, it's crazy. But it wasn't there in 92 or, you know, later than that, so. I like this map. It's really clear, this one. You know, why didn't they just have an address out there, though? You know? Maybe it doesn't have one. It was just part of some lot or something. And it was difficult to... And that's kind of what this is right here. I wonder if it's like that mountain back there, but I don't think so. Ah, crap. Oh well, tried something right at the last second there. Now I'm on here for 3 hours and 16 minutes. So, anyways, give it a shot right at the buzzer there, but nothing doing. But thanks for sending me that stuff, Stephanie. Let's see what else. Stephanie Crane's disappearance, Scar's family. Okay, it disappeared. I needed to pay for it, so I can't do it. All right, so thank you to LM, Cassandra Morris, Chasing was there earlier. Then, yeah, she also was a 19 months member. That's pretty cool. Then Dan Carr. And then, let's see, Spunky Steph. Moody Morgan became a channel member. Thank you. Then we've got Kit Kat. Emily Flotilla, Amy Celeste, Kelly Grant, Alifair M, Laura Nelson, JD, Amber Maiden, Kit Kat, Apocalypse Fra, Jen H, Carolina Girl, Kimberly Hennessy, Rhea Mazzarone, Nicole Wilson with a double cat eye. Thank you very much. And Karen Watton. And then Karen Watton also, she became, she was a channel member for 3 months and then sent in a super chat. Thank you. Notorious Nance, Nicole Wilson, Angelina ATF, and Nicole Wilson again. Every time she found a new piece of information. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. And hopefully you don't mind going through some of these tedious cases that nobody's really ever talking about at all. Especially that first one that we did. Nobody talks about that one. Yeah, it's been a long day. That was an hour and something over there. 3 here. So, but anyways, you guys are awesome. And we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. I know sometimes, you know, it's the wrong time of the month for, you know, helping and so forth like that. But, you know. It is what it is. We get through the nights, and sometimes, you know, some people throw in a big super chat, and it kind of covers the, you know, the short part of the night. Almost got to a normal night. So, anyways, very cool. And we are, at the end of this month, I'm probably going to send in another chunk of money to identifinders, because then that'll cover a third case, and we'll have a whole bunch on the books. And they're so happy that we exist. I mean, you should see the kind words that they say over there. So it's pretty amazing. And thank you guys very much. And I guess that's it for the show tonight. So we'll see you guys tomorrow with something new. Yeah, don't know what it is, because one of the both cases were ones that people sent me in an email, and I just looked them up and found them to have information and thought they were interesting. So thank you guys very much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. No, be safe out there, everybody. And where the hell's the button? There it is. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Okay, just remember, I have a temper fucking chapter. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender.
We're gonna say agender,
okay? And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later. Hey, you know what we should do is do let's do a flyby right now. That's what I gotta do. Where the hell is that one? Right over here. There we go. Get rid of that. Full screen. Get the old music kicking in. Yeah. All right, here we go. And guess what this name of the music is? That we use for the flyby. It just has a miraculous name, and the name is Furious Freaks. I mean, what are the odds of that, huh? Okay.
Furious Freaks, wow! Namaste, man! Namaste, Emily! Namaste, dude. Hey man, that's totally radical, dude. Namaste.
Are you smoking dope, Mary Lou?
Just a little bit. Oh boy, Gray, you're such a curmudgeon. He almost did make me cry, Big Cake. He almost made me cry. Hey, Big Cake! He almost made me cry! I am not smoking Mary Jane, Big Cake. No way. Hey, look at that, a parking place. Weird. Look at that, Gray, signs of life. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that.
Yeah, well, people go out there to check it out. You know that, right?
Oh, okay. That's so tubular. Yoo-hoo! Squaw Canyon Trail, everybody, look! One more time, huh? Feel the wind. Hey everybody, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the flyby.
Yeah, they seem to like it. Maybe not with your constant blabbing.
What do you mean, Grady?
Well, you're just talking the whole way through. Like I do during press conferences when I have something to say.
Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, everybody be safe out there.
Yeah, I just said that.
I know, but I wanted to say it too.
Okay, great. Good night. Bye-bye. Yikes.